Good afternoon and welcome back to another ironic introduction to another video. What I have here is Symbiote Supreme at rank 4 as a 4-star. I had him at rank 3. I just could never really find a convincing reason to bring him up, but I'm like prepping for tomorrow with all the 4-star runs I plan on doing. I'd like to do a 4-star run of the whole monthly event, as well as the side event tomorrow if possible, and I'm really like trying to do as much pre-planning as possible, just because for once I can. I don't really like to watch data mined videos, but when Kabam releases like the champion abilities and the spotlights before the month comes out, I'm able to get like confirmed information on what the champions will do. So I was able to like properly plan out and think ahead, and I really think Symbiote Supreme here, I think he might be a clutch pick, just depending on the nodes. I just kind of, that's my gut instinct. So for like what I'm planning with on the full like champion rotation here is looking at Moman. I'm like, this guy, he is like Monster Mass and Frenzy. He's a skill champion. So for me, I'm like looking at it and I'm like, well, Monster Mass can be nullified, and you really want to play like an intercept play style and have some like power control if at all possible, because the specials from him are really just going to make it a little bit more difficult to manage. And Sim Supreme, he really nails that. And I think that you might say, oh, well, Sim Supreme bleeds, and that's going to trigger the debuffs that give him Monster Mass. But also Sim Supreme, he staggers, which means that if, let's say, you stagger and bleed the opponent, they're going to get a Monster Mass, but it's immediately going to be removed. And as a result, they're going to take passive damage, and then you're going to get huge power gain from Mystic Dispersion, and you're going to be able to spam special 3s. So I'm under the impression, I think Sim Supreme is going to just be an absolute beast for Mole Man, but like mentally, otherwise, I'm looking at like other generic Nullify Champions, which I don't really have as 4-star rosters. I'm working on the intercept playstyle because you really don't want to be parrying this guy all that much. I think Omega Red will just be a standard great champion, and this really brings me back to like a previous post by Kabam of an update where they did the whole Omega Red, his spores can prevent tenacity purification. So this was 2 patches ago, and I thought it was like a really big thing because I always thought that's just how Omega Red worked in general. But back in 25.3, they put Death Spores will once again prevent debuffs from being purified via the tenacity node, and I'm just under the assumption that that's going to work on Mole Man as well, especially since Omega Red has that class advantage, and Kabam has been pushing like the whole class advantage thing a lot lately, and with Mole Man being like a bleed champion, I really feel like Omega Red's going to be a good answer as long as he doesn't have like enhanced bleed, and then as well as like my other focuses on Mole Man, I'm thinking like as long as I'm mindful of like sticking to the intercept game when he's not frenzied, and once he is frenzied, recognizing that I can parry and not have to worry about the stuns falling off, and then just not hitting into his block unless I bring a slow champion, which I don't plan on bringing. Overall, I'm not too worried about Mole Man, and I'm actually wondering, I feel like this might be another event where Mole Man isn't actually one of the bosses. He's just going to be a random or chance encounter, an ambush. So I think that's pretty neat. That's just my prediction in that regard. After that really is Terrax, and Terrax, I think, he might be frustrating at first, but I think once you get comfortable with him, he's not going to be that bad. He might actually not be here yet. QRST. I'm so bad at words. Yeah, so Terrax isn't here on the list, so it is what it is. But Terrax, like, he's got that whole non-metal champions camp power control, so I like drafted up a list of all champions I thought could handle like the power control aspect. So like Magik, Sim Supreme, Clairvoyant, Dormammu, Void, Ghost Rider, Scarlet Witch, kind of Hawkeye, Captain America Infinity War, plus the Longshot synergy, because I don't think, not Captain America Infinity War, sorry, just Cap America, because if I filter by metal, Captain America is not here. So he should be good as well, as long as you have the Longshot synergy. I think Mephisto is going to be clutch here, because I'm pretty sure the Fate Seal is going to prevent the initial indestructibilities he gains at the start of the fight. So I think that's going to be really useful. Ebony Maw is going to be pretty useful, I think. The Hood, if he's awakened, has some power draining. Modok's Special 1 might be really clutch in longer fights. Dr. Voodoo with his power control. Longshot, Mojo. This is just like my initial list of champions, and I have that in in the description below as well. But mostly Sim Supreme. Again, I really think Sim Supreme is going to be clutch on Terrax, because Terrax, when he's awakened, is going to start the fight with power cosmic buffs, and he's going to have his rock shield active, or whatever it's called, but the rock field is active, and he's going to start with indestructibility buffs equal to the number of power cosmics he has. So if I go in there and I use like Omega Red first, and he has 2 power cosmics, and from fighting Omega Red he builds up to 3, and I bring someone else in there, he builds up to 4. Let's say I get him all the way to max 6. I can bring in Sim Supreme, and as long as those indestructibility buffs can be interacted with, it should work in the way where Sim Supreme immediately nullifies all the buffs, does a ton of damage, and I get a bunch of power right at the start of the fight. So I'm really hoping that's the interaction. Otherwise, you know, that's all the prep I have so far. I'm also looking at like 3-man teams, synergy teams, and like the mindfulness is that in the side event, Mole Man can ambush you, but again, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be so much as a random ambush, so much as you can clearly see it. Like if the path only has 2 champions on it, that's going to be a Mole Man ambush for sure. Kabam has already confirmed it's 3 fights a path, so if you only see 2 champions, you can probably assume Mole Man's going to ambush you, but I'm still looking at like 3-man teams and trying to figure out my rosters for that as well, but we'll have to judge that a little bit on the event itself. That said, I just kind of wanted to talk through my logic here. Hopefully other people are excited, because I'm like really stoked about this event coming up. February is kind of a slow month, so I'll have like a lot of excitement and hype and anticipation for March, and I'm really hoping it doesn't let down. That said, I hope you guys all enjoy your time. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.